Good morning, students. Today we are going to start a new chapter in history, Women, Caste and Reforms. So let's begin this chapter. First we will see which are the main points under this. In this we will be seeing these main points: introduction, sati, widow marriage and child marriage, women's education, women reformers, fight against caste inequality, 20th century anti-caste movements. Okay, so let's start our chapter. We all know that most of the social evils are connected to women and their conditions. Till 19th century, women and low caste people faced lots of problems and inequality in our society. These two sections were deprived of education and equality by everybody. So some of the people and reformers, they tried to improve their condition by introduction of various reforms like widow remarriage and spreading education, which improved their condition a little bit. Now let's see in this one, sati, widow remarriage and child remarriage. And first we will be seeing reformers and their role in this. Raja Ram Mohan Roy, some other reformers, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, his contribution, Vireshilingam Pantalu, Dayanand Saraswati and other things. So let's start. Indian reformers felt the need for societal changes. They felt that unjust practices should be ended. They believed that practice of public freedom is very important. That is why many of the Indian reformers tried to remove different social evils present in our society during 19th century. The first one among these was Raja Ram Mohan Roy. He is also called as the father of modern India. Now, Raja Ram Mohan Roy founded the Brahmo Samaj, a reform association in Calcutta in 1928. He wanted Western education to be spread in the country and he felt that this could be stopped. He wrote about household women who were burdened with domestic work. These women were confined to home and kitchen. They were deprived of education and not allowed to move out. He was particularly worried about widows and he started a campaign against sati practice. And because of these steps taken by Raja Ram Mohan Roy, a lot of improvement came. He expressed that the practice of sati had no sanction in ancient texts. He was well versed in Sanskrit, Persian and many other Indian and European languages. He was supported by many British officers who were also critical to Indian customs and practices. And finally, in 1829, sati practice was banned. So this way you can say the Brahma Samaj and the reform movement started by Raja Ram Mohan Roy bore a fruit in 1829. Now, later reformers. Many of the later reformers also claimed that sati as a practice was very harmful. They found a verse or a sentence in ancient sacred text that also supported their views, and they suggested that the practice was against early tradition. It means sati pratha was never found in ancient Indian society, so it should be abolished as soon as possible. Now, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. He was one of the many reformers who stressed on widow remarriage. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar used the ancient text to advocate widow remarriage, and his suggestions were adopted by British officials. And finally, in 1856, the Widow Remarriage Act was passed. So this way you can say Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar's main contribution was allowing the widows to remarry. Now, Vireshilingam Pantalu. Vireshilingam Pantalu formed an association for widow remarriage in Madras Presidency region, and in this, young intellectuals and reformers in Bombay worked for the same cause. So, this way you can say from different parts of our country, different social reformers were trying to bring improvement in the social conditions of women. Dayanand Saraswati. Swami Dayanand Saraswati established Arya Samaj and supported widow remarriage. But after the efforts of so many reformers also, this percentage was very less. There was difficulty in accepting remarried women in the society, and conservative groups always opposed the new law which was supporting the widow remarriage. Child marriage. Many of the reformers also challenged child marriage, and Indian legislatures in Central Legislative Assembly also fought for the law to abolish this. In 1929, the Child Marriage Restraint Act was passed without much struggle, and finally the act stated that no boy below the age of 18 and women below the age of 16 could marry. So this way you can say by the Act of 1929, child marriage was also banned from our society. But still we can say law were made, but their acceptance in the society was very less. Now in next part we will be continuing these points related to women's education, how various schools for girls were opened, how were they allowed to get education, was it equal for Hindus and Muslim girls same, and different social reformers in women also who tried to change the social status of women in the society. So that's all in today's lesson. Remaining we will be continuing in next class. See you.